Hey, it's Denver, and today I'm going to be walking you through Ableton's new app, Ableton NOTE. It's a great way to get into production easily and make a beat without having to open an intimidating big DAW. So let's get into it. I'm going to be doing everything from my little busted phone here, which you can see on the screen just over there. The first thing you want to do is you want to download Ableton NOTE from the App Store. It is only available for iPhone, iOS only, but hopefully it comes to Android soon. It's only $5.99 USD, so it's really affordable, especially when you compare it to other apps out there like FL Studio Mobile. I also want to note that you need to have iOS 15 or later to run Ableton NOTE, and you do need an account on ableton.com, which is free, but I already have one because I use the Ableton desktop, so I've already logged in. When you open the app, you're going to see these demo sets. You see the first one's called Juicy Tuesday, and you have a play button next to it. You can listen to the sets. The three dots right next to it are the settings, so you can duplicate it and play around. You can rename it, choose the artwork, etc. We also have three dots on the bottom left-hand corner here that I'm going to press, and these are the settings for the entire app. We have Ableton Cloud, so that syncs what you're working on here to Ableton Desktop, but you need to have Ableton 11 or above. And your girl's on Ableton 10, so I can't really show you because I just don't have Ableton 11. You also have Link under it, and that's for any hardware that has Ableton Link. Show Touches I have on right now, and it's that white circle that you see when I press things. That's Show Touches. That's just really for like tutorials if you want to like show something to somebody. You have usage data, help, privacy, legal, all that normal stuff. All right, so let's go back. Let's go into Juicy Tuesday, and you can kind of see all these fun tracks. But let's start our own. And to start our own, you're going to press the new button in the top right-hand corner. Then you're going to see Session View, which is very similar to Ableton's desktop Session View. Right, we have this like little musical note. Let me press on that. Oops. And you have the settings, so you have your metronome if you want it going when you play. You have the tempo, which is at 120. I love 120, so we're just going to leave it there. You have the key and scale. When you create a new set, you're going to have three default tracks here. When you long press them, you can have the option to duplicate or delete them. You can also move them around like this, and you can add in more tracks as well. Under each track, you have a clip, so these little boxes here with the plus sign, so you can go and click into it, and that creates a clip. When you open a clip, usually there is an instrument or a drum kit already selected for you, but if you want to change that, all you have to do is you just click on the kit. Now you can see that we're in Guitar Unplugged. You can kind of scroll, you can sample stuff, but if you don't want a guitar, let's go back to presets. And let's go find like a bass, and you can scroll through those. Lots of fun, different things that you can choose from. So when you open a clip, it will just pick a random instrument or drum kit for you. I believe we're in a drum kit right now. Yeah, that's a drum kit. And this is called the instrument view. So you're going to see the preset at the top right here, the Cortex kit. And the first thing you're going to see are the parameters to the kit, which is these little four squares here. Next, you have the sampler. You can see the waveform of the sound. Pretty fun. You had the pad effects and the kit effects that you can add and adjust. You can change the effect by clicking on the effect, and you can see all of these fun things here. Another interesting thing you can do with the effects is you can automate them. So this is a saturator. You can just launch the clip, play it. And when you move, you saw when I moved the dry wet, there was a dashed line that was moving. That is the automation. And if you like the automation, then you just add it with the button on the bottom that you're going to see. So I'm just going to do an example. There's a lot of random notes playing in the background. It's a little nonsensical, but this is just for demonstrative purposes. So once I add it, now you see that solid line. That's the dry wet, the saturator being automated. All right, let's start making a clip. I'm just going to press no clip, and I'm going to add in 4 bars. There we go. You can hear the metronome going, and you can see it's starting. So let me just play something in. There's a little bit of a delay on my headphones right now, so my drumming is not very good, but you just press add at the bottom. If you want to be a more freestyle, there's something called free capture. So let me just undo everything that we did. Okay, and let's just stop it there. There's no clip, and we're not going to add any bars, but you can literally start playing like any notes. You can see these like empty notes coming in. You can do up to 8 bars, and if you like it, you press the little square at the bottom and it will add it in, and it just keeps looping until you press something in. You can also add in more notes as well, so let's like replay this. You can just add more notes in just like that. This is not a good drum beat, but you guys get the idea. And if you really don't like what you played, like you're like, ew, I don't like that, you just press the little X button. Now, there are some things on the bottom as well that I would like to talk about. So this one will give you some options for the pads that you're playing on. So right now we're in pads, but sometimes we can go in single mode, which is a velocity sensitive pad. It's just one of the sounds. At the top, it's a faster velocity than it is at the bottom. You can see that faintly there's a plus and a minus sign there. So you can see these are quite quick. Lower velocity down there. Okay, I'm going to go back to pads. I want to show off the repeat section. You can have a note repeat when you hold down a pad. So this is a quarter note. So let me just demonstrate what that sounds like. So it repeats every quarter note for you. And here's eighth. So this is really cool for, you know, hi-hats, anything you want, like repetitive. House music has a lot of repetitive elements, so this would be really good for that as well. Okay, these pad options do change depending on what instrument you have up here. Before we had a drum kit, but now we have piano and keys. So you can see we still have the pads option, but we do have a keys option that looks more like keys if that's something you want. We also have an octaves section, so you can have more octaves to play around with. Right next to the pad options, you have duplicated, the clip in the track. So you can see that now there's 2 of these clips. You can also select these notes if you just tap into the little window, and you have these other options that you can do. You can transpose the notes, you can nudge them, you can do quantization, which is really, really nice because I'm not good at finger drumming, so this is super helpful for me. And the velocity, which is super cool. You can just slide your finger across and create these fun velocities. If you want to quantize quicker, this button down here will just, whatever you picked before, like a quarter note, it will just quantize for you automatically. Okay, so once you have kind of something that maybe you like or you don't like, you can delete bars by swiping left, or you can duplicate bars by swiping right. And that's really helpful if you just like, I really like these 4 bars, let's just duplicate it. Boom, now you have 8 bars. My favorite, however, has to be the sampler. And the sampler does exactly what it says. It samples, so you can just record things in your environment and find a lot of different inspiration, which is really cool. So let me just record a sample in right now. We can do a vocal chant like a hey, hey. Okay, let's actually drag that so it starts or starts in the peak. You can change the gain by just holding and then kind of dragging upwards or downwards. If you click on the sample, there are different modes, filters. You can read more about what each setting means in the manual. So you can see you can have a lot of fun with this. Okay, so when you have created a bunch of clips that you like, you will have scenes, which you can see the numbers on the sides. And to reveal and hide those numbers, there's this little button at the bottom. You can see here. So when clips are arranged in a row, they're going to play together like this. You just press on number 1, which is scene 1. So you can actually move clips as well to other tracks, which is kind of fun. But let me just move that back. Actually, let's just undo that. So if you play scene 1 and decide that you want to play maybe another clip, you can do that. So let me show you. Let me press scene 1 and press a different green. Now I'm going to press a different green clip. So you can mix and match and play around, which is a lot of fun. And if you do something you don't like, again, you have the undo and redo button there. Something else I want to talk about is the mixer, which is this little like bar graph at the bottom. And here you can volume mix and make one track higher than the other. You can solo tracks. Yeah. You press the little note in the corner here and you press export audio. You can choose wave or M4A. Let's just do a wave for now. Click export and it will create the file. And you can export it via AirDrop. You can send it to yourself via email or use the Ableton Cloud Sync, which you can access if you have Ableton 11 or above. So here's the little demo. We press share and you can see that there's a bunch of different options there that I'm probably going to blur out. So yeah.